Samsung has made one of the most radical smartphone design changes to the Galaxy S6 last year, but compromises were made and power users are unhappy with the lack of storage expansion and the inability to swap batteries. But still, the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge are one of the most advanced and powerful smartphones ever made. This year, Samsung finally brought back what power users would want from a Galaxy smartphone by reintroducing the same glass and metal design and most importantly, bringing back microSD expansion while having some hardware refinements. After a month of using it, is the Galaxy S7 Edge an exciting device just like when we unboxed it? I'm Warren with KLGadgetTV and this is the full review of the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. The S7 Edge continues to be one of the most stunning looking devices this year. While most parts of the design remains unchanged from last year's flagship, I'm actually glad that Samsung has managed to reduce the camera bump, making the phone sleeker than ever. From far, you may find the phone to be a beautiful piece of premium hardware, but once you get your hands on it for a while, the phone will be covered full of your fingerprints. Well, thankfully not so much on the display itself, but you might actually find yourself cleaning the back most of the time. But you can certainly get away with it by putting on the case. In addition, the aluminum frame now features a smoother edge that gives the user a better grip. You will notice the difference if you have held a S6 Edge before, and it feels better when using the phone one-handed. Even though the S7 Edge looks very identical to its predecessor, the phone's body is IP68 certified water and dust resistant with no changes externally, which makes it one of the rare premium smartphones to sport such rugged capabilities. In addition, there's a hybrid SIM tray that gives you the option to either expand storage or insert a second SIM card, a thing that Samsung should have included in last year's flagship. On the other hand, the phone also brings built-in fast wireless charging as featured in the S6 Edge Plus. Samsung's AMOLED displays have always been one of my favorite displays on a mobile device. For one, it introduces great power efficiency and deep blacks. It also shows vibrant colors that makes photos and videos look very favorable. Samsung has used its display tech to its advantage this time and introduced Always On Display, a software feature that enables the user to have the screen always activated to show text, time, and calendar. Samsung says that it uses extremely low power that you don't actually need to worry about battery life, and I can certainly testify that in my usage. Overall, the display is a great one with great sensitivity and response that you will find it to be a great typing device. Not only did Samsung attempt to improve the hardware of its phones, it has also attempted to introduce a new version of touch-free software with improved usability and lesser bloatware. As you would expect with new Samsung flagship devices, the S7 Edge comes preloaded with Android Marshmallow with very minimal changes to last year's software. I have previously complained the inability to automatically sort apps in the app drawer, and that sadly continues to exist. It's really annoying when you have installed a number of apps and have to manually sort them with the only alphabetical order. The Edge screen is what makes a Galaxy phone with an Edge moniker interesting, and I'm glad that Samsung has continued to improve and include more Edge panels to make it more useful. For instance, the Task Edge panel will now let you have easy access to perform certain tasks, such as taking a picture automatically or viewing your call logs. There are a number of downloadable Edge panels from the Samsung App Store as well, but sadly they were mostly official made ones, which means third-party developments for the Edge panels are still limited. Despite the Edge panel being really there, I somehow tend to dismiss it and still do not find it a necessary feature in my usage. As opposed to the Edge panel, I find game tools to be more useful, especially for active smartphone gamers. Once activated, a small overlay of tools will be automatically shown on games, which you could lock the phone's capacitive buttons, mute notifications, record your gameplay, and minimize the game to avoid losing progress. With liquid cooling under the hood, the phone still gets warm while playing games, but it is not as hot as its predecessor, which you can finally treat the phone as a portable gaming console. However, I would still advise to not game with the phone while charging as it could heat up very badly. The S7 Edge's main camera is undoubtedly one of the best out there at the moment, even though it now takes lower 12-megapixel photos as opposed to the previous 16-megapixel resolution. The camera has an increased pixel size and an even larger f1.7 aperture to take better low-light photos. Taking pictures with the S7 Edge is totally effortless in any lighting conditions that even an amateur could take beautiful photos out of it. For the pros out there, Samsung still hasn't given it a higher ISO as it remains at a maximum ISO 800. However, you should be able to take fast-moving objects in good lighting conditions with a 1/24,000 shutter speed and face detection autofocus. Lastly, If you are looking to take 4K videos with a smartphone, the S7 Edge is definitely up for the job. One of the problems with the S6 Edge is battery life. While not being able to swap battery is already bad enough, it had a small battery capacity that can barely power up the phone's high-performance hardware. The S7 Edge has thankfully got that resolved with a larger 3600 mAh battery. I got to use it more than a day with a 3-hour on-screen time, which is already an impressive result considering that high-resolution display and powerful hardware. The S7 Edge also scores impressive results in benchmarking apps that I've ran on, and it is undoubtedly one of the best performing Android smartphones at this point of time. So, is the Galaxy S7 Edge an exciting device after a month? Yes. Is it a worthy upgrade from the Galaxy S6 Edge? Yeah, probably. The Galaxy S7 Edge feels like an entirely new device and should have been a flagship for last year. Samsung has done what is necessary to make the S7 Edge the best overall smartphone for this year. Although the edge screen continues to be a gimmick, I certainly hope that the non-edge Galaxy S7 will make its way to the market soon, as it would definitely be more affordable without the edge screen. The Galaxy S7 Edge is currently available in the 32GB model and will retail for a price of 30.99 ringgit.